Welcome back, guys. It's been over 2 months since I put a video up in relation to the Falcon coupe, and that's because I've been working on the Escort flat out, so I haven't had room in the shed. So anything in relation to the Escort, I'll try to keep that for a separate video. This video will be purely in relation to the Falcon coupe. So as you can see here, yeah, it's a bit hard to work on it where it is. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to shift all this stuff out of the road and then turn the car back around, and then I can start progressing with it. But before I get onto that, I'll show you some of the goodies that I've bought over the last 2 months. So to start with, I've got this Cleveland block. The engine number actually comes up, it comes out with like a 1980 Fairlane. So I think they call it the D block, or the black block they call it. So that hasn't got its 350 on crank. Someone's put a 302 crank back in it, but yeah, virgin bores are really good. Yeah, it's actually for my brother. I could have kept it for myself, but I didn't need it, so I bought that yesterday. That was 500, which is, I reckon, pretty damn cheap. So I've got that sump with it. And whilst I was over there, I picked up this 351 drive shaft, which is actually, it looks like the unis and those areas look the same as the 6-cylinder, 302. So I don't know what the go is there, but I know this one is absolutely pathetic in relation, like in comparison to the Escort's Gibson drive shaft. I had that custom made to suit the Escort, but the Escort basically goes from a ball-warner diff, like this car will have, again, to the C4. So I could have got a drive shaft made, but I figured score this one for $100, and to get one made is around 600, 700. So got that sorted. Then I got the leaf springs and all the stuff that goes with it. Just got to get the shackle parts that goes from the shackle to the body. But yeah, got that complete. That was, I think that was, I got him down to 350, I think. Might have been 350. And then I bought this other little section, I don't know where it is. Oh, this section here. This part here goes on goes from the guard to the front section, or apron. So I've got the upper side off him as well. That, and then this is about a month ago, I scored these. They're 2V heads, 4V valves, double valve springs, a little bit of port work, bit of a tidy up. I compared it to the other 2V heads that originally come with this, but they're closed chamber. Yeah, just, they got machined up years ago, wrapped in plastic, sitting in his garage for a project, and never went ahead. So I'll just see if I flip this up and I'll show you. Yeah, pretty awesome. So I've got them. They were 1,200, which I think is pretty good. Spoke to me local engine builder, and he said to get these heads, if I was to bring my heads into him, by the time you do all the work, the machining, you're up around between $2.5 grand. So if you're going to spend that sort of money in heads, you might as well get aluminium. So yeah, got them a good price. And then yesterday, I had a bit of money to spare. Bad time of the year, I know, but I scored this 351 crank. So it looks pretty good. I don't think a Linish is going to cut it, but these don't look too bad. But you see over here, it looks like it's spun a bearing. So I don't know how that's going to be. It looks like, yeah, it's going to need machining, but that's all good. So I've got the crank. He's got so much parts, pretty much everything I need for this coupe. But so I've got these extractors, scored them for $200. I looked on Pacemaker website and shops that sell them, and they're around $880. So that's pretty good. But the only downside is, as usual, the car's bottomed out, a bit of dents here and there, because I'll fix that. There's no dramas, but I actually fluked it because there's different styles of pacemaker extractors for obviously a top loader, C4, different models. So this actually is perfect for Cleveland C4. So that's sweet. Got that, and I got this fuel cap. So it's actually not too bad. Still has, and this part still has its pins. I know you can buy them replacement, but that was 600, so I paid good coin for that. That's really it for me parts. But the reason I don't need this block, let my brother have it. I've got this one I bought a while ago. It's an American block, but my workmate, he had this sitting in his shed. He bought it on a skip 10 years ago. All machine, 20 foul over. Yeah, it's a good block. It's got 4-bolt mains. Scored that for $200 because he needed it gone. He needed room in his shed. So yeah, I really done him a favour in a sense, going out of my way to pick it up. But it's amazing when you're actually looking for car parts and you're not in a hurry for them. You can really shop around. But I think, in my opinion, Facebook Marketplace isn't the best place to look for bargains. You can get on there and you can try, but there's that much interest, and people get the shits because people just time wasters. Say they're going to come out and look at something, they don't turn up. And then I bought this spray gun. It's got a 2mm fluid tip, so that'd be great for using the polyester primer. So I'll put this stuff away. I've been storing all this in the house. I'll just keep dust off it and keep it dry and clean. Shed is now set up for this Falcon. So got this Hunter Valley Chardonnay made locally. I signed off on my interior design for my Mojo house that I'm getting built. So I've got my block of land, which is local. So it's just a matter of putting a house on it. So I've been going to a lot of appointments, taking up a lot of my time, but it's got to be done. It's part of the process of building a new home. And it's not like I can buy an established home around here, because this area is one of the most popular areas in New South Wales for building new homes. Just a booming area. So they gave me this bottle of wine. I'm like, might as well drink it now. So I've got the car set up now and looking over it and just spend a bit of time blowing all the dust off it, using a brush and just getting rid of all the crap laying around, because yeah, it's been sitting now for a couple of months. So I went to the All 4 day in Sydney. I wasn't able to bring the Escort, it wasn't ready. I was still waiting on the torque converter. So yeah, so I still went to the 4 day by myself, which I think's better, because you can go through, look at the cars at your own pace and not have anyone nagging you about when we're going to go home, as in children. So yeah, had a really good day, met some really nice people, and surprising how many people I met who watch my channel. And unfortunately I didn't know who they were. Like, there's that many, you know, so many people on YouTube watching my videos, so yeah, felt pretty bad in that sense, but it's nothing I can do about it. But yeah, had a really good time there. But one of the main reasons, one of the main reasons I went there is to, one thing, to see the cars, because I'm passionate about old cars, old Fords and that, but it was to have a look at Falcon coupes and just get an idea about different things on the cars, because as you know, there's not many of these cars getting around, so it's hard to tell body lines and stuff. So I'll just go through what I've seen. So the first area I looked at on Falcon coupes was the boot, because this boot, as you know, if you go back from the earlier videos, is in a pretty sorry state. Had nasty dinks here and there, rust holes. This car's had a hard whack from this point, so there's a lot of work went into it. But so one thing I was concentrating on, looking at the cars, that light's in a bad spot up here. So one of the things I picked up on the coupes at All 4 day, they got this nice contour, goes around here and sort of goes in a bit, and it goes out. So looking at this, it's sort of more flat there. It's not, hasn't got much of a a line there, so it's not really a line, but it's just sort of an edge that comes off here. So that's easy one, that's not a problem. But apart from that, the boot is really good when you're comparing it to other cars. Rear panel is great, there's no problems there. That's original, it's not a rare spares piece of junk. And then looking at the rear quarters, I noticed where I've gone wrong. Got this nice body line that goes right across the side of the car. Well, the body line comes up here and sort of breaks up and blends in about here. So mine blends in about here, so I can just extend it a little bit. It's probably already got enough primer there. I can just sort of concentrate and doing the upper and lower areas and to get that a bit more pronounced. So go across here. These aren't too bad. I was concerned about, needs a bit of work there, but I was concerned about how this is going to look, but that's pretty good. That's pretty good overall. And then there's a body line that goes across here, and then it sort of breaks up around here and blends in. I've got this side pretty good, but I know the other side needs a bit of work. Sorry, no, that side needs to work, this side's good. So see that body line goes across here, but this guard's actually dropped, it's not actually on properly. The bonnet, it's great. You know, I took the skin off it. I was talking to this fella, he had this beautiful silver XB coupe, and he put these mica flakes in the silver, and he painted the car like that. He had someone do it for him, and it's absolutely beautiful. I've got heaps of ideas of that car. I'll put a picture up of what the car looks like, put some photos up so you know what I'm talking about, but it really inspired me to how I want this car to look. So overall, it's not too bad. The only areas is really both sides where it blends in here. This is pretty good. One of the guards over there, but overall, I'm on the right track. It's really hard looking at photos on the internet because you think they look good, the cars look good, but when you zoom in, you can't see body lines very well. So for anyone that doesn't know about this car and what it was, is basically a 1974 XB GS, or they call it the Grand Sport Rally Pack. So that's what it is on the Ford identification letter. So, but this car was actually from Coffee Ford in Victoria. So what they done, they had the horn car decals on it. So I had the horn decals coming over the roof. So basically it was a horn car, but there's nothing on the paperwork to say it was a horn car. I only know because the first look to the car, it had the original, it was like the green lines going over it. I didn't like it. So in saying that, being a GS rally pack, so it had a proper rally pack would have just had the black line down the side, most of it being orange, burnt orange in this car. These would have been black. And then when you go to the rear panel, the rear panel was all orange. It didn't have the insert in here, just had, this is a Falcon 500, it's not a Fairmont, so it would have had Falcon 500 here, the Ford lettering on the boot, and then it would have had the Falcon 500 here, and then on the bonnet here would have had the Ford lettering. So upon looking at this dude's XB at All Ford Day, he had the rear bumper, front rear bumper and front bumper that was chrome, which was standard on the GS's. So I'm thinking chrome bumpers front and back. I'll buy new ones off Astal Design. I'll black this out like a GT. I'll have the insert. I'll have 351 decals here. And I might black out the rear a couple of rear volants. Got that here. But that's really good because I fixed it. But I think what I'll do, I might make into having the GT style exhausts on it. That just looks so much better. I'm not trying to have this car as a GT, but I'm really inspired by the GT features they had. So if I have the rear panel blacked out, insert in here, 351 decal there, chrome bumper, black rear valance to be black, and then to have the nice exhaust tips coming out, and then on the sides have the GS stripe across the side. Then I might have this all blacked out. I might, I'll see how I go. And then as the front of the car, I'll probably have this lower section across here blacked out, but I'll leave the rest of the car to be burnt orange, and I'll black out these, and I'll buy these new bonnet clips, or what they call them, off Rare Spares. But that's the direction I'm going at the moment. That's where how I feel like it happened to be. But it did have the vents on the side here when I bought it, like the holes there, but I think at some point someone's decided to make a bit of money and they've sold the vents off the side. They've sold the GS grill, so I've only got the ordinary Falcon XB grill. They've sold the fuel cap. They've sold that. All the stuff that they quickly could have taken off the car and sold, they did, but they didn't sell the GT GS cluster. I've got that. So I've actually got the speedo cable out of this car, and I've used it in the Escort. It works same connection on the back of the cluster and the C4 transmission. So this actually runs a C10 where the Escort runs a C4, which is out of a Mustang. So yeah, so what I'll probably end up doing now, I'll just go from the back of the car and just go to the front. So I'll concentrate on sanding these areas back and just paying attention to any imperfections, looking at the light reflections and just seeing how it looks. But really, when it gets to this point, you can't rush. You have to slow right down. Yeah, it's gonna be a lot of talk in this video. It's because it's getting to a stage now where you have to sort of slow down and put your time into different areas and how things are going to look, because if you rush this point, you'll get the car out the sun, fresh coat of paint on it, and then you'll see things that that are wrong that you could have corrected. So one being here, for example, this door, I put a new section across the bottom, had a bit of rust into it. It wasn't bad. This is pretty good, this door. But up here, all this was rusted out. So what I've done, I've put a cut along here, and I've got this section out of the original door. But upon doing that, you can see it's a bit of a high there. So I've got to address that. So if I didn't fix that, and I just thought, yeah, should be right, and then yeah, it would have stuck out like dog's balls. That just stands out because I'll have the chrome section that goes over here. And I've noticed, I think it's Rare Spares, they sell the whole kit. So you buy this chrome strip that goes around there, new section there, and all the chrome that goes around here. So yeah, I'll have to fix that. That's important. But it's all good. I know it's there. I know it's got to be done. So let's start on this boot. So the surface is it's pretty rough because it's straight off the gun. The polyester primer, so it doesn't come out very smooth, very orange peely, so it's difficult to tell where the highs and lows are. But I know it's pretty good because when I sanded it back last time, it looked okay. So from what I can gather, I've just got this Milwaukee permanent marker, so I know there's a bit of a high spot across here, and looking at reflection here, probably hard to tell with the GoPro, but when you look over here, you can see a bit of a low spot around here. So what I'll do, there's different ways to attack it, but the best way I've found is don't try to go too fine with your sandpaper. So what I use the sticky back papers. They're pretty good. Turn this music down. So there's your 600, which is absolutely useless for shaping. And then you've got your 220, which is borderline. It's not really the best for shaping. Depends on what you're doing, but for block, if that boot had no highs and lows, then I'd go straight for 220. That's the next step when I'm happy with it. But so what I've got here, that's the 120. I've got the 120, then I've got what's left of the 80, and I've got new stuff for 80, but I won't go 80. That's just, it's great for shaping. It just, you tear off the primer and the body filler, whatever you use, and really well. But at this point in time, I think 120 is fine. I know a lot of people don't go anything under 120. So what I'll do now, I've got different Dura blocks. They're my favorites. So these soft blocks, they're really good. So what I've done with this one, I've sacrificed some of that to do in areas like in here. So I found that to be really good. So I won't use the soft blocks yet. That's not the time. I wouldn't use them on the big open flat areas. It's just not what they're good for. What I use these Dura blocks. So I use that one. I think that's great for the boot. I've got the splines, but I think they're more for the really big areas like the roof, rear quarters, large areas where you're trying to keep the overall shape good. But where you can really go well is to get, say, this Dura block, and rather than concentrating on one spot, you do a large area, do big long strokes like that, and you can generally get it pretty good then. I've used this more than anything on this car. I found it to be really good. It's good on the Escort too. But the Escort's got really long sort of straight panels, so I think the splines would have been ideal with this car. Yeah, you just mix and match what you use, but you can tell when you use the wrong block and you sand it, you can really tell where it's gone wrong. So what I'll do now, I'll set the camera up and I'll start on the boot. Something you probably didn't know, having a GoPro isn't just a matter of setting it up and hitting record. You have to set it up in the right spot, and then in order to do that, you might not be able to get to the back of the GoPro to see where the camera is focusing, so then you connect it to your mobile phone. But then in order to do that, I had to turn my mobile phone off once, completely off and on, turn the GoPro off and on. That didn't work. Take the battery out of it, that worked, and now I've been able to get connection to my phone to look at the picture to see if I'm going to get the whole boot. So that's just one of the things that takes up a lot of your time when you're doing GoPro videos. I'm not having a whinge at you guys. I'm just saying, if you wonder why I don't do videos more, it's because little things like that. So even though you've got the footage on your GoPro, you've got to put that onto your phone. So that's a matter of transferring files over. That's how I do it. I don't use a laptop. And then once you do that, then you got to edit the videos, put them all together. So for me, this is a hobby. If I was trying to do this for money, then yeah, I'd be getting very frustrated. So I've got my Dura block. I've got 120. I've got the proper mask for dust, because I get hay fever. Plus, it's probably not a good idea breathing this crap in. So I've just got all the footage off the GoPro, and I've put it all onto the phone, and then all the footage that I took of the boot, I'm going to narrow it down. So yeah, that's where I'm at the moment. The quickest way of doing it is getting the SD card out of the mobile phone, or sorry, out of the GoPro, and put it in the laptop, and you'd use a video editor off the laptop. But I'm too dumbass for that, so so whilst I'm doing that, the boot's sanded down by keeping the sanding block flat. I've managed to expose all the highs and lows, so there's just minor stuff around here. It's all good. See, metal, once you hit metal, stop straight away, do not go any further, because you're just going to create a high there and a low there. So metal, so there's a bit of metal across there, so that's just how it is. You sand it, get it flat as possible. Still, it's got the nice liner in here, which is good. So the boot needs another coat with a polyester primer. You can even see where the filler is underneath. Metal. For those who think that this car's full of bog, it's just a matter of putting filler on, sanding it, getting to the point where you can't go any further, then repeating the process, and eventually you get it to the point where it's great. So what I do now is get the wax and grease remover or Prepsil and spray it over the panel, and then look at the reflection and just see where it's at. And when you do the edges, use a block bigger than that, but you keep it flat and you do continuously controlled movements, so you don't get like highs and lows on the edges, because that's really important. So what I've been doing now, whilst waiting for this bloody mobile phone to do its thing, editing videos, so I measured there 62, 55, 53, and I had a problem with the other side because this side has had a hard whack. I've had to make a section in there, straighten this up. If you go back through my old videos, you'd see it. So the problem I have, this wasn't sort of horizontal to the boot, so you see it there. That's pretty flat, where it was kinking up a bit. So what I've done, I've leveled it out, but it's still that's a 48, so it needs another 5mm of area. So I've either got to put a little bit more filler in here and try to sand this down more, but you see where I'm hitting metal there. So yeah, I just need to put a bit of filler in here just to bring this edge up. Tuesday the 7th of December, got 1 day off work, so because I've only got 1 day off work, I've got to play catch up with washing and whatever else. So, but I'll put some time into the coupe today. I'll have to retract my statement, what I said before. That's 80 grit, that's 60. I just finished doing the Escort video, and yeah, I had packaging opening, and yeah, just noticed, so stuff that up. But as soon as I start talking, she comes around. So I just went to Autobarn in Maitland, and I bought this spray thing, and then got some wax and grease remover. I got these clay bars, so because the Escort's going to Summer Nats, I'm just gonna have to have a really good detail, because it's pretty dirty at the moment. So I'll clay bar it, and I've got the other products for that, but yep, that'll be a separate job to this. So what I'll do now, I'll just get this wax and grease remover, and I'll give this boot a hit, and I'll show you how I find the highs and lows in a different way. But I told you this before, when you do here, you don't keep it completely flat, you just sort of work your way along. But I try to keep off the edges. You wouldn't keep it flat, you just, yeah, not good. So I had a look over here too. So it's the same on this side. So you got 62, 55, and then 53. And then I went over here and I took a little bit more off it to make it more horizontal. I think it's pretty close now. It's only about, what's that? It says it's 48, but it's actually only 2 millimeters. Because now I brought that down. Because these are flat, it's made a little bit longer, so that's going to be good. So what I'll do, I'll just have to look over this because I think that's all messed up now. But I'll get the free body filler for that rather than putting the poly primer on, because that poly primer is bloody expensive. And on my third tin now. And the sad part is most of it, when you sand it, most of it comes off. So I'll try to use as much as the free body filler as possible rather than use the poly primer. So I've got it all pumped up, the wax and grease remover, and evaporates fairly quickly, especially when it's hot. But I'm going to tape up around those windows too. I've been a bit slack. I'm letting overspray get in there. I'll be sanding in there anyway, but I think it'd be wise for me to do that. So give it a quick look at now. Yeah, it looks really good. I'm more concerned about, it's already starting to evaporate. There was a low part here, so what I've done, I've done this whole area. I've got it flat now. So there's a low there and there was a high across here. So yeah, it's a lot better. It's really hard to tell. I can vaguely see something over there, but what I'll do now, I'll move on to another area like here, but I'll weigh up whether I want to put poly over again and just hit it with 220 next time. I don't know. I'll look into it. Another thing I like to add is I've got a heap of time off. We've got a shutdown at the mine site I'm at, so I'll have, I only work 3 shifts in a month, so that's pretty good, but I'm going to summer that, so that'll be a week gone. But yeah, I'll be able to put some solid hours into this car, which I'm really looking forward to. Just taping up the windows now. And what are you doing, puss? She loves this car, but as soon as I open those doors, she jumps in and starts climbing around everywhere. So what I'll do, I'll put tape in from the inside, and then I've got this, I don't know where it is now, like a clear sort of, here it is, this stuff here. I'll put that on here to stop getting overspray all over this parcel shelf, making a mess. Couldn't help myself. Thought I'd give this boot a quick hit. The poly, it got up to 28 degrees, so it's a perfect opportunity to put some poly on while I can. But the bloody wind picked up because there's a storm coming. The plastic come up and hit the car, which doesn't overly matter. It's not bad along here. It's mainly up here I was concerned about. So yeah, come out very orange peely, unfortunately. Couldn't atomize the paint any better. Tried turn the pressure up. And that's just the way it is. I've had the option of using 10% reducer, but I don't really like doing it because I notice there's like a looks you know, it doesn't come out the same, looks different, but I can put up with it. And what I'll do on my next day off, actually, yeah. So this turns out to be, that's 50, and go across the side over here, and that's 50. So it's worked out really good. So I'll just go with a quick hit of just acrylic primer surfacer. So what I'll do on my next day off, be over the weekend. I'll start blocking this whole quarter again. It's pretty good. There's a low there, so I'll end up putting filler in that. I won't worry about trying to fill it up with poly. There's a low there, and just around here, you probably can't see it well, but do a little up around here, and just, I'll keep it a sharp edge when I sand it. I won't try to take the sharp edge off it, and I'll make sure it's all even the whole way around. It'll be easy to tell it's got a sharp edge on it. But yeah, block this quarter panel, then probably go to the other side, I reckon. Go to the other side, and generally pretty good. It's not too bad now. It's actually a bit of a concern at the moment. This weather, we're getting a lot of rain lately, and it's going to be ongoing till March, they reckon. So I'm gonna have to really be careful, because one thing you got to watch out for with spray painting is humidity. You get too much humidity, and yeah, you get humidity blisters. I've had them before. They're not good. So what I do, I just every time I use the air compressor, I can drain the water out of it. And then yeah, just watch it. But at the moment, it's only 51%. So it's all right for doing primers and stuff. But so I'll wrap up this video, guys. I tried uploading the Escort video that I'd finished off today, and for some unknown reason it just stopped. I can't upload videos properly here. It's like I have to get in the car and go shopping or something, go into town. Very frustrating. Our home internet is absolute junk. It's supposed to be NBN, it's supposed to be right, but it's no good for uploading videos. So I'll wrap this video up and hopefully get it up the next few days, and yeah, continue blocking. But it won't be too long now, and this car will have a coat of paint. Can't say how soon, but it's definitely heading in the right direction. So I'll see you next time, guys. Thanks for watching.